So, welcome back to the channel. We are taking a look at some Outriders stuff that has got me concerned about the Worldslayer expansion. I did like a reaction sort of thing to the stream that announced the expansion, like the reveal sort of stream, and I thought it looked really good. And then I've come over to their Twitter because I was going to do a legendary mod or weapon showcase. And I was also interested to sign up to the betas. I know that I'm very, very late to it, but I thought I'd give it a go. And then I saw there's requirements and stuff and limitations to the betas. So we'll go through all of that, and just quickly before we do get into it, if you're not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do sub, turn notifications on. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, all support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description, and let's get into it. So the reason I am doing this and expressing my concerns, because I have kind of stopped doing all this sort of content, the reason I'm doing it is because they are charging like £30 or £35 for this if you already own Outriders. If you don't, they are charging like £50 to £55 or somewhere in that region. And that's what they're charging for an expansion. So obviously the more expensive one you purchase the game as well. But after everything these companies have put their players through, what they are doing with the betas just raises red flags. So looking through their Twitter, they've been tweeting quite a lot. You've got Brace for Impact, the expansion's coming June 30th, so we're around 7 weeks away, and I don't want you guys pre-ordering because pre-orders were available like straight away. I don't want you guys going and pre-ordering and spending all that money just to be screwed over again. I will be pre-ordering, but then I cover content on my channel, so if you are interested but you're a little bit skeptical, then I will pre-order the, whatever edition I need to pre-order. I'm pretty sure there is just one, but I will pre-order it so I get the early access so I can get content out as fast as I can. It's a lot of money for an expansion, put it that way. And after, with the history of the game from its launch, and I mean even before its launch, there were lies and stuff and everything. I don't want you guys pre-ordering and getting excited and then it comes out and it's busted. Because from what I've read, in my opinion, there is quite a big chance that is going to happen. So on their Twitter, you've got questions. If you've got any questions, you can reply to them. Following the weapon week, what was your favourite one? Then they've just got video and image and everything like that, just showcasing things they want people to see. So they won't talk about the new game mode as far as I'm aware. They're just talking about some of the legendaries and stuff. It's all just done to create hype. And I don't see this as being anything to get excited about, because realistically, they should show you different things about what the new levels do and all that sort of stuff. And they've given brief looks into it. It's not just the legendaries, but they should be promoting the content more than they promote the weapons. And that doesn't seem to be the case. It's like they have nothing to show because they've created this bland leveling system that just gets players to grind and grind and grind. So scrolling further down, we have even more stuff. And then the major concerns come when we get to April 22nd. So if we keep scrolling, you can just see this image after image and video of... It says, Apocalypse tiers go beyond the difficulty of world tiers, perfect for those who want the toughest challenge. Will you be getting the highest Apocalypse tier when it launches on June 30th? So they're making sure to let you know it's coming out June 30th. Make sure you know that date. Pre-order it now, all that sort of stuff. And they have a brief 54-second clip for you to get a little bit of an insight as to what the Apocalypse tiers are. But I think they should have broken them down and given players a better understanding of this sort of stuff, because I'm pretty sure that's what players are going to be interested in to at least start with. The legendaries and stuff, as you progress further through the levels, you start doing your expeditions, the new endgame mode, all that sort of stuff. And then, as I said, it gets to April 22nd. Did you know there will be a closed beta for the Worldslayer expansion? Find out more about it and register your interest here. So if we come over to this, I was going to register, but I've withdrawn my thoughts to register. I can't be bothered with it. I'm just going to wait until the actual expansion releases. So if we have a look here, the Outriders Worldslayer closed beta important information. I've said it with a couple of games in the past, they wanted to know which time of day you take a piss. Like, for basically feedback about bugs and stuff, they demand a lot of answers and a lot of feedback, a lot of information, but they are running requirements to enter into a closed beta. So with Outriders Worldslayer launching in just a few short months, we'll be running 2 small-scale closed and private betas. Fair enough. As they are closed, we won't be talking about them too much publicly, it's essentially under an NDA. Don't share content unless you're in the dedicated private channels. Again, closed beta, fair enough. The objectives. The objective of the closed betas is to observe progress of players through Worldslayer content. We will be relying on in-game analytics to provide raw data, but we will also be very interested in players' feedback around balancing through the dedicated feedback channels we will be providing. We will at this stage not be able to make any sweeping changes to any mechanics, formats or processes within the expansion, but the data and feedback coming out of the closed betas will allow us to provide a more balanced experience at launch. So already based on those objectives, there are concerns that have possibly been raised in-house or whatever about the balancing of this expansion. So there is a possibility of certain things and weapons and stuff being broken. It's typically the case in a lot of games. But when you're paying money, like when you're putting your trust into a company that's already screwed you over, this is why it's tough. We get that things need balancing, but you have, as they've said themselves, they have a lot of testing teams, QA teams worldwide. Get this stuff better balanced and use these betas to basically increase the hype and give people a chance to play before they buy it. Try before you buy. Especially after the history these companies have with this game and its player base. So stress testing is not an objective of these betas, but we will be looking to identify and remedy any initial bugs of technical issues players may encounter. So they're going to be basically observing to create a better balance and also to squash any bugs. Okay, but the thing is, this game, since it come out, has had incredibly dreadful matchmaking. You have barely been able to connect to anyone on this game a lot of the time. There was a period of about 10 weeks where players could not access certain characters because their inventories were wiped, and when they went to load the character, it would boot them off the servers. Then there were damage mitigation issues, and these issues lasted for months and months and months. So with this, they're saying we're going to put in a remedy and identify and try and fix any initial bugs and technical issues. You can't trust that coming from these teams. But then we get into the crazy part of it, format and requirements. The betas will be run using the Microsoft Insider program and will therefore be available to players on Xbox and the Windows Store. Due to the small number of players invited into Beta 1 and the multiplayer experience we are planning to observe, a lot of people don't play this game multiplayer because there's been a lot of times where you've not been able to at all. I believe there were weeks and weeks and weeks where PlayStation players took up to hours trying to log into the servers, so that's playing the game all together. Then it happened with Xbox and it went back and forth between the platforms. It was always an issue. They've carried on to say we need to ensure beta attendees are playing in as few time zones as possible. We are therefore limiting Beta 1 to just North American players. So what about the rest of the world? I get that it's a closed beta, but it's a closed beta, meaning that things shouldn't come out of the beta and be spoken about publicly. This is not a limited beta where you just have North American players. Why North American? It leaves a load of questions. Can they not get this set up in time for other regions? We will be looking specifically for players who have invested 50 plus hours into Outriders and who have a solid understanding of the game and theory crafting. Your Outriders save game and characters will be waiting for you in the Worldslayer beta, but progress made as part of any beta will not be carried over to the launch version. All beta progress will be lost. To participate, you will need to link your Microsoft Xbox account, your Square Enix members account, and your Discord account. Beta 1 will start on the 29th of April, and we will be letting 2,500 players in. Beta 2 is planned to be run later in May or June. The success of Beta 1 will inform how long Beta 2 will be run for and how many players will be invited in. So using 2,500 players from North America, if the feedback is bad, if it's an unsuccessful beta, then what happens to the second one? If it's good feedback from the 2,500 players, what's going to happen with the second one? And not only that, the biggest question is why is the success of Beta 1 going to determine what happens with Beta 2? They should already have specific dates and times and everything like that for when these are going to run, because we are only 7 weeks from the launch of this expansion. If they run Beta 2 at the beginning of June, and Beta 2 has more people come in, there's more errors on the servers and everything like that, and it's unsuccessful, things need fixing, they don't have a lot of time. But they've already opened pre-orders and all that sort of stuff, they've given people a date, so it'll either be delayed to where nothing will probably happen, either that, or they will just release it in its current state and it's going to be a pile of shit. The things that really baffled me, not so much that Beta 1 was limited to North American players, it's a little bit out there, a little bit bizarre, but if you have never played Outriders, or if you have put in 49 hours or less, you are not invited to the betas. You have to have invested 50 plus hours into Outriders to test the game. How does that make any sense? You're supposed to test your game. You're supposed to test your expansion. How are you going to test anything with an incredibly limited amount of players, one specific region, certain requirements to actually be involved, and then have the success of the first beta determine what happens with the second? I really do not trust this. I think this expansion is going to just be some new legendary items, new weapons, new gear, one new game mode, a couple of new grindy leveling systems, and that is it. There's going to be maybe in between 4 and 8 hours of actual fun, then the rest is going to be grind. There's a lot of systems that are fucked in Outriders. If memory serves me well enough, I believe they still do not have a locking feature for your gear. They do not have a loadout system. If I also remember correctly, there is going to be no new character class. And this game has been out for a while now. So I'm really not sure. I don't have a clue what's happening, why they've chosen to do it like this. But I'm steering, if I would even be allowed to participate in Beta 2, I'm steering well clear of it. I don't care for the betas. I'm just going to pre-order because it's part of my job to do so. I'm going to give you guys as much honest, truthful, basically feedback as I can. I will share my opinion. I will be neutral, so I'm not going in with a negative mind. I'm not going in with a positive. I'm going to stick completely in the middle, neutral with this, and just be honest, whether it's a pile of shit or whether it's worth putting your money into. So what we're going to do is leave that there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.